This is the PR Podcast, a show about how public relations helps you tell your story to the world. We talk with great PR practitioners who have the skills, creativity, and just plain savvy to get their clients noticed. Now here's your host, Jody Fisher.
Hey everyone, and welcome to the PR Podcast. I'm Jody Fisher. Thanks for joining us. Well, what a week it's been. It seems like I say that every week, but it is also true. In addition to working with all of my clients on the usual proactive and positive press that we try to get them, I also did a quick project with a client that came about very suddenly. And I thought I wanted to relay this story here because I think there's a great lesson in this. And I posted this on my social media too, but let me just run through it for you a little bit. So someone refers a client to me. And I talk with them, and they are providing a product that will be part of a press conference that is being planned. Now, I'm not planning the press conference. We're attaching ourselves on to this press conference, but their product is at the center of it. And so they have an opportunity, they feel, and I'm glad to see them thinking like that, because a lot of clients, a lot of people don't think this way. You know, they don't see a story when it's staring them right in the face, and I'm glad to see these people were doing that. But they said, we have an opportunity to leverage this event to tell a larger story about our product to reach other potential customers. And boy, so smart, right? Said, yes, absolutely. We can tag onto this. We can work with the people who are throwing the press conference, and we can get some positive press for you. So work with them to get them set up for success at the press conference. They participate in that press conference. A lot of media came. You know, we did the usual outreach and rallied people out there. Got them the interviews with the TVs that were at the event. In addition, I shot my own video on my iPhone X, which is, you know, a standard iPhone. They have really good lenses now. And I mic'd it properly, I lit it properly, but I just did some simple B-roll and a simple interview with my client. Took those back to the office and cut them together on iMovie on my Mac. Delivered a simple little 30-second SOT, what we call sound on tape, TV lingo, sound on tape, a simple SOT, which is like a soundbite, and 30 seconds of B-roll. Different shots of this product, this event that we had. And I sent those out to the TV desks that were not in attendance. I'd also sent it to one that was, but I thought maybe they could use the SOT anyway because they didn't do an interview with my client for reasons I'll leave aside. In any case, it ended up running. It ended up running on TV. Video that I shot on my iPhone, that I cut on my Mac, that I put into a Google Drive and sent a link to the TV desks. It ended up on TV, and I tell that story not to talk about what a genius I am, even though, I'm such a genius. No, seriously, I tell that story because that's what we have to do as PR people. That's the value that we bring to our clients. We don't just write press releases and shove them out to an email list. We provide that kind of value. Taking video, recording video, sending video to TVs and getting our clients on TV, getting them the hits that they want to get when that station wasn't even there. And it also has a lot to do with the relationship that I have with the TV desks and the people who are making those decisions. But the reality is I shot video. It was good looking video. It was good enough to be on broadcast. They needed it. They used it. As a PR person, you must enhance your skills. And that's one example of enhancing your skills to get your clients the results that they come to you to get. So get yourselves familiar with your phones, get familiar with shooting video, get familiar with cutting video. Like I said, I used my phone that I have normally anyway, and I used a $20 lavalier microphone that I bought on Amazon. It doesn't get easier than that, okay? You gotta do this stuff. And if you're not doing it, start to do it. Get comfortable with the process of doing it, and just, practice at home. Practice shooting and editing video at home. I didn't buy anything special other than that microphone, and that was $20 to get my client the results that they wanted. So quick little story there to talk about how we really need to be pushing ourselves all the time, develop our skills, and bring value to our clients. Now, let's get on with the show. So this week I wanted to switch gears a little bit away from the usual discussion that we have with the terrific guests that we have on a regular basis, and plug here, reminder, if you want to be a guest on the PR podcast, please send me an email or a direct message on any one of our social networks, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We now just launched the YouTube channel. And of course, you can send me an email as well. Come on and share your knowledge, share your experience, tell your story. We have, like I said, I always say this, 52 weeks in a year. We do one show a week. That's 52 brand new guests that we can have on. You can be one of them if you want to be. You have a perspective, you have a story, and we talk with public relations practitioners. We also talk with reporters and editors and videographers and photographers, anyone who's involved in the business of making news. And if you have a perspective on how the news gets made, we want to hear from you. We want to share your knowledge. We want to hear your story. We want to get your perspective. So let us know, and we can have you on as a guest. And normally we're talking with those people every week. And shout out and thank yous to all the people who have already been guests here on the show. But thought we'd take a break from the guests every once in a while and talk about one of my favorite topics, which is organization and productivity. Insert sound effects here. Organization and productivity is one of my favorite things to talk about, and I know that may sound weird, but I try to be a very hyper organized and very productive person. Look, we all try to be productive, right? But I think one of the things that can get in the way of productivity is a lack of organization, a lack of a game plan. You remember that great line for people who are my age out there from, I think it was that movie One Crazy Summer, where John Cusack is talking to the dad, and he says something like, with no plan, there's no attack. With no attack, there's no victory, or something like that. The guy was a little bit of a whack job. Point being, you got to have a plan. And in order to have a plan, you got to be organized. And to be better organized, you need to be productive. Let's switch that around. In order to have a plan, you need to be productive. And in order to be productive, I think you got to be organized. So I wrote a blog post that I put on my LinkedIn. And everyone has their own version of this, but 5 things to boost your productivity. And I wanted to go through them a little bit and sort of relay my perspective as a way to jumpstart a conversation on our social media so we can hear from you on what you like to do to be as productive as possible. But let's go through them now, and maybe we can share some knowledge here. So going into the blog post, I start out by saying sometimes you're the windshield and sometimes you're the bug. It's a great line written by Mark Knopfler from Dire Straits for his song. Mary Chapin Carpenter recorded it and I think made it even a little more famous. But the reality is of life, sometimes you're the windshield, sometimes you're the bug. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. And it couldn't be more true in PR. We sometimes joke around saying PR is the business of getting used to hearing the word no. We hear the word no a lot more often than we hear the word yes. And that, I think, is what makes the yeses so much more valuable and so much richer, because when we do score, it feels really, really good. But I think that wisdom couldn't be more true. And I think there are some things that we can all do to make sure that we are more often the windshield than we are the bug. So here are 5 things that I do to maximize the hours that I have in my day. Number 1, get up early. I wake up at 4 a.m. Now, that's going to sound nuts to many people. Some people maybe not so much. I know I'm thinking of one person specifically who that's not going to sound nuts to. But the reason I get up at 4 a.m. is because I have a morning routine that's led me to decide that 4 a.m. is the best hour to get up to start my day, because there are things I need to accomplish in the morning before my day comes crashing down around me. Right? So I get up, I exercise, I have a shower, take a cup of coffee, all that stuff. And I can sit and I can think, and it's quiet, and I can, casually go through my emails and read newspapers and go through all the, sort of aggregate all the information that I need to start my day. And then to think about, okay, what am I going to do? What's on tap? How do I need to change that game plan based on what I'm seeing in my email and in the news right now? What's going on external to my business, maybe with my family or maybe personally. Are there other appointments that I need to keep that day? Just getting myself adjusted and acclimated to the day that I'm about to jump into, right? Because what you don't want to do is have the alarm go off and, fall out of bed and sit upright and just, go, oh my God, and be rushing, right? It's the worst. And there's that montage in the beginning of every movie about the disorganized person, who's just always seems to be running from fire to fire to fire. You can't be that way. We have enough fires that start on their own anyway. We get paid to put them out. Don't encourage fires by being unprepared about your day. So number one, I get up early, and I make time to get off on the right foot every day to make sure that I have as good a day as possible and be as productive as possible. Number two, develop routines. You probably commute to work the same way every day, right? Now, maybe a lot of us aren't doing a lot of physical commuting anymore. I mean, my commute is about 20 feet, because I'm set up here in the home garage where I've talked about before. But we've got routines. We're getting things we do every day. We make a cup of coffee. We're commuting. We're getting dressed. We're showering. We develop routines. We do the same thing the same way every day. You probably put your right pant leg on and then your left pant leg, or maybe it's reversed. You put your socks on and then your shoes, or maybe it's a sock and a shoe and a sock and a shoe. You develop these routines, these patterns in your life, and you do a lot of them without noticing it. So how much more productive could you be if you actually developed some routines around the other things that you do day after day after day? There's that story about Albert Einstein, always wearing the same thing because he didn't want to think about or put thought into having to pick out an outfit every day because it took time and energy away from the things that he thought were more important. So developing routines around things that happen the same way every day or twice a week, or maybe it's every Monday or every whenever. Develop some routines and set some reminders. I use the reminders app in my computer to tell me, okay, it's time to do this. Now it's time to do that. Here's the link where you go here. Here's the link to the spreadsheet where you use here. Developing those routines to do the same things every day, to squeeze energy out of your day so you're not spending time and energy making a decision about something that you don't need to make a decision about because it's just so simple you can just do it. If it happens routinely, you should develop a routine. Number three, don't leave tasks half finished. This is a big one for me. You wouldn't paint half a house. Why? Because then you're going to have to go back later and paint the other half, right? You have to finish it. So why would you just put the dirty bowl in the sink? Why don't you just wash it and put it away immediately? Or take it and toss it in the dishwasher and wait for the dishwasher to fill up. And then when it fills up that day or that night or whenever, run the dishwasher. Don't leave something undone, right? I mean, if you're going to take the brush out of the hairbrush out of the drawer and brush your hair, don't leave the brush on the countertop. Take the brush and put it back in the drawer where you found it, where you're going to need to go look for it tomorrow, right? Don't leave tasks half unfinished. Don't wash 2 loads of laundry and then let them sit there for 4 days and have to go back and fold them later. I do 1 load a day, right? I wash it, I dry it, I fold it, I put it away. All in, that takes about 15 minutes of my morning. And if I'm waking up at 4 a.m., that's part of what I've built into my day, right? To make sure that I have that 15, 16 minutes that I need to do that 1 load of laundry in total. It runs for a half an hour and it dries for a half an hour, but I'm not standing there watching the machines. It takes a minute to wash, to throw it in the washer. It takes a minute to throw it in the dryer. It takes, 10 to 15 minutes to pull it out and fold it and put it away. Done. And I do 1 every day, and I'm never missing any laundry, right? So I'm not leaving tasks half finished. Do things right away. Do them to completion. Complete the task completely, and then move on to something else. I think that's a terrific way to squeeze more productivity out of your day. Number 4, organize and automate your day. These are 2 separate things, right? So let's take them separately. Organizing. You got to be organized. Everything's got to have its place, right? Your keys need to live somewhere. Your wallet needs to live somewhere. Your purse. Your clothes live in a certain drawer, your socks, your underwear, your shirts, your pant, whatever that is, right? They live in a certain place. Um, Organize everything that you need to refer to on a regular basis. I have tools here in the garage. They all hang up on a pegboard. The hammer goes back in its proper place. The screwdrivers go back in the proper place. The drill is in a bag, in a shelf right down here by my knee. Everything is in its place. Why? So when I go to look for it, I know where to find it. It's there, right? And if it's not there, then it's lost. And now I got to go look for it, right? But you shouldn't be putting things in different places. I mean, imagine coming into your house, right? Taking your keys and putting them in a different place every day. You're spending 5 minutes every day looking for your keys. 5 times 7, 35 minutes. You wasted 35 minutes that week looking for your keys. How dumb is that, right? So organize your life, put things back where they belong, so you can find them the next day and you're not wasting time and energy doing those things. Automation, little bit different, right? And automation is different for everyone. And I'm a like a tech Tony Stark kind of guy. So, I want to have Jarvis and R2D2 in my house at some point. But I do things like I pay bills electronically through my bank, right? So every month, there's a set of bills that get paid on a certain day. They're automated every single day. I go in there and I make sure that they're, each month I make sure that they're paying out on the right day. But the point is that they're scheduled. And all I got to do is check to make sure that the electric bill goes out on the day the electric bill is done, and it's done. I don't have to sit down and write the check and blah, blah, blah. I automate that process. Here's another example. I have Wi-Fi switches throughout the house, and I love my tech. Some of those Wi-Fi switches control the outside lights, the porch light, the floodlights on the outside of the house, things like that. They go on and off, kind of like on a timer, every single day. They go on at sunset. They go off at sunrise. I never have to turn on and off those exterior lights. I don't spend any time, and they also never accidentally get left on unless something goes wrong with the Wi-Fi, and that's a completely different conversation. But they go on and off automatically. I don't have to spend any time turning them on and off, or forgetting to turn them on and off. I automate those things that I don't want to think about. And that's, I guess, the key to automation is automate those things that you don't want to spend time and energy and thought on. Just make them happen automatically. And it will streamline your day. It'll streamline your life. Again, I put that disclaimer on it. It's different for everyone, and not everyone is comfortable with doing certain types of things, making things automatic. And look, you also have to prune them now and again. Because sometimes automation will get you into like, oh, I should have canceled that subscription or something like that, right? And I think subscriptions are the one thing that drops into our budget and makes us go, oh, I don't have any money. I have a ton of subscriptions that are on autopilot, and I check them, once a week or once every other week to make sure that I still need them. Because you can waste an awful lot of money if you've automated certain things. So you got to be careful, but I think automation and organization key to being as productive as possible. And number 5, and I think this is the biggest one, do it now. We waste a lot of time and energy psyching ourselves up to get a job done, anything done, right? Whether it's sending an email, mowing the lawn, dropping off a dry clean, whatever that is, right? We waste a lot of time and energy going, or I don't want to do that now. And I'm a procrastinator like crazy, right? So I'm like, I don't want to do that right now. Oh, do I have to do that right now? Oh, I'll do it later, right? So my rule is do it now. If it's sitting in front of me and I can get it done in 30 seconds, I'm getting it done. And that's it. There's no excuses. Because otherwise you're going to spend a lot of time and energy evaluating whether or not you want to get it done, you have time to get it done, you feel like getting it done, all that stuff, right? Just get it done. Just do it, get it done. And that, sort of bleeds into everything else, whether you're organizing your life, whether you're not leaving a task half finished, whether you're getting up early to exercise. I have a rule about morning exercise, basically, and a friend of mine coined this. He said, you just got to swing your legs out of bed. Just swing your legs out of bed. Once you're vertical, you're on with your day, and I couldn't agree more. But number 5 here, do it now. Don't put off for tomorrow what you can get done today. Get it done. So that's my list. I hope you enjoyed it. Give me some feedback on whether or not you have additions to that list, whether you agree with items on that list. Would love to hear what you think of my list, and also what's on your list of ways that you are as productive as possible. Again, this is all about the conversation and the perspective sharing. So check us out: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Drop us a line. Let us know. Maybe we could do a show in the future about other people's perspectives about being productive and what they think makes them more productive throughout the day. Well, thanks again for listening. Please remember to subscribe to the show. Connect with us, like I said, on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at The PR Podcast. Send us a question or comment. Our intro is by Christopher Appold. You can find him and his fantastic photography on Instagram at Christopher_APPOLDT. Check him out there and hire him for all your photography needs. You can find me online at Jody Fisher on all the socials and online at jodyfisherpr.com. We'll see you next time on the PR Podcast.